What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Springdale, with our Let's Play Season 4, Episode number 23. Just a few left this season. I do love this cinematic camera, but I don't love that texture pop-in that happens almost every time you cut to a new view. The cinematic camera is accessible the same way that the walking on foot is now on PlayStation and on Xbox. There's mods for it on PC, and on Switch you are SOL, as they say. So where do we pick up today? Let's get out of cinematic and let's take a look. We're at 187,964 people. Not much demand except for a little bit of industrial / office. Do we meet it with more and more office? Do we start extending some of these road networks under here where I raised this highway? That may not be a bad idea. We could build a little bit on that side of the highway. We do definitely have some room over here on this side of the map. And we have raised the highway all the way down this strip, so we can tuck some stuff in underneath if we wanted. We could get a little bit more zoning happening over here. Right? This might not be bad. This is kind of tied up in prison and recycling and cemeteries right now. Those wouldn't hurt to be off a little bit further off to the side of the map if we wanted to. We could also tuck some cemetery coverage in here by the zoo. We've got all this space on the plateau, all this space on the mountain that we're not using. But it is kind of nice to have the Castle of Lord Chirpwick, aka the Mayor's house. You can come take pictures, but you can't stay here. This is my house. So yeah, so what do we do with these last couple episodes this season? Again, I do want to kind of come back and revisit all the cities I've been building, but we were slowly but surely working our way through the different info views. I kind of want to see where people are at. So death care wise, we're good. Let's look at education. We've got some people that aren't educated, but this is also the newest neighborhood. And capacity-wise, as long as they can get to an elementary school, capacity-wise, you can see because of our collider monument, everything's good there. So they just kind of need access to the building. There'll be plenty of coverage. And again, the only people that aren't educated are the ones that just moved in these new developments. You can see that everywhere up here, everybody's getting educated, right? They've been moved into the town for a while. They're well covered. Nothing to worry about there. Then university, we've got 14,000 people in university right now. That is crazy. We've got our Kangamoo U, the giant campus up here. We've got another university tucked away down here. Would probably stand to have another one over on this side. Wouldn't be a bad thing. I kind of half wonder why I didn't upgrade that one road to 6-lane. Trying to figure out what I did there. Let's fix that, because that doesn't make any sense why that one road would just drop off. So let's fix our zoning before people move in, hopefully. We're good on that side. We displaced some people, that's okay. We could have a line of buildings right here. I don't think this would be too out of place. A little bit of zoning on that side of the street next to the zoo. Yeah, we could definitely extend back here as well. Got our train moving some people around the outer edge of the city now. We don't have any external lines, unfortunately, on this town. Let's go back into our info views. Unemployment is at 18%, which I don't have a lot of demand to move businesses in, so there's not a whole lot I can do to help that out. We could change some policies around to have people be less focused on education and more focused on getting into the workforce. Happiness-wise, everything's pretty good except for commercial, and I can't help but wonder which commercial zones are not that happy. We might need to drop some more parks in some of those spots, but everybody's pretty happy for the most part, which is good. Land value-wise, goes off the chart when we add in the Eden project, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Leisure-wise, everybody's in pretty good shape from a leisure perspective. Everybody has accessibility to it. We've got uniques and parks and stuff spread all over the town. We're good there. Parks and plaza wise, again, everybody has access. There's something for everybody. We are a little bit light down here in this section. And then park area wise, we've got our nature reserve. Not sure why that wasn't filled out all the way. Let's extend that up to this street. So we've got our Sycamore Heights, or technically Amity Brook, is the nature reserve. We've got Chirpy Land over here, amusement park, which I filled in with a ton of trees, so this will probably burn down horribly in some awful disaster in the future. Filled it in with giant redwoods. We've got Central Park, of course. And then we've got Zootopia over here. So we've got one of each of the main parks. And then we've got a couple little city parks and things like that. Just filling in some space here or there. I think I was using this. Nope, this was a city park that I ended up zoning. So now it's just some cut-throughs that nobody visits. But it technically counts as a city park, so good enough for me. Levels-wise, the only buildings that haven't really leveled up all the way. That industry park looks good. Looks brown. So offices, we've got some offices that have moved in not that long ago. Actually, these that moved in not that long ago are already fully leveled up. I'm going to guess it's these ones down here. Yeah, so not all of these have fully leveled up yet. From a service coverage perspective, commercial's not entirely fully leveled. Residential is almost. So we're in good shape on all those. This one's always an interesting one to look at. So outside connections. Where are people importing goods to? Where are they exporting them from? And where are your tourists coming to visit? And it looks like this view is broken right now. That's good. So what you should see here, when you go into import, you can see the buildings that are importing things, what kinds of goods they're importing. And that's mostly going to be the industrial buildings, but some other buildings, if you're not making stuff on map, may need to import goods into commercial sectors, which is exactly what we see here. You're importing various goods. You want them to have good road access. Same thing for anybody exporting any goods, which actually we've created a pretty self-sufficient city here. So we're importing stuff because we're not making certain goods. We don't have agriculture. We don't have so we don't have farming. We don't have forestry. Those goods have to come in from the outside. As far as export, we're exporting next to nothing because we're able to sell it all in town. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to produce more goods than your city needs. But if we're keeping it all in town, we're reducing some of the truck traffic that's having to go to outside connections. And I'm not sure why tourism just isn't showing up on here. It should show up on the tours routes will actually show you where some of the most attractive places to go are. So you have your monuments and your unique buildings. You can see those spill out quite a bit. There's a lot of appeal over here in this area that we're not really meeting. So maybe we could do some parks and some little residential pockets over that way. Obviously, where the big uniques are in Central Park is really appealing. And then we've got things like, what is this, like the playground, the climbing frames and stuff. And we have walking tours that go through here as well, it looks like. But you can kind of get a good look at where people are going to want to come visit in your town. And hopefully you have good service coverage like Metro. It's amazing how many people will take the Metro out of a football game. I'll try and get it on film before the end of the series. I don't remember if I did record it at any point. But when these games let out, you have traffic that maybe backs up to where that bus is. So right about there. People spawn cars, 2 traffic lights, and they're clear. Everybody else goes into the Metro. So it's pretty good at supporting that traffic. We did a good job with that. It's in a good spot. It's got good Metro coverage. Let's jump back up here and take a look at our transport. So we're moving quite a few people with the Metro. We go into transport route details. You can see metro-wise, you've got a couple hundred passengers on every line, but then there's some lines like this one here, this green one, that runs from this monorail station, which connects the other half of the city, through office and residential, and more office and commercial and residential, comes all the way to the zoo and then backs up. That's one of our most popular lines. Another one that is very popular is Metro 19. That's down here. This goes all the way from the small suburbs out here on the coast and comes through this middle artery and connects up into our bus station. This bus station, look at this bus station. Lots of people. These are all people that could be on cars, in cars even. As you can see though, they're taking public transit, and this is helping out our city a lot. So that is a good thing. Hopefully, looks like almost all of them are metro bound, so that's a good thing. Taking the bus to get to the metro or vice versa, and it's doing some good things for our traffic, which would be in a lot worse shape if we weren't doing that. Speaking of, that's the next thing on the info views. We're at 76%. I can totally live with that. We will want to come back in and tweak some of these intersections, maybe find ways to force people down other routes, see where they're coming from, and if there's a better way to get them there, if there's more metro or service coverage that we need, we can take a look at that. Now, this is something actually that I haven't touched yet this game, and this could definitely help us. If we go over to the wrench, road condition. Basically, your roads aren't bad, they're just not as good as they could be. And the road maintenance depots help them get even faster. So they travel around the city, they boost the roads, allowing for travel at higher than normal speeds. And just like everything else, this kind of has an area of effect. So let's see where we can drop some of these in. Throw one right there. Go back into our info views. Electricity. Yeah, that is not covered. Let's get that covered with electric. It is mostly covered with water. Now it's covered with water. And that should be spawning, there we go, these trucks that are going to go out and service the roads. And as it goes over the roads, you can see that basically those trucks improve the possible speed of those roads. Now, this one's going to move very slowly because of the traffic that it's stuck in. But as it navigates those roads, it's going to improve that performance. So they'll basically drive around the city and help out quite a bit, where those roads will now allow for faster travel. So let's drop a couple of those around our city so that we can get the best coverage possible. Let's do at least 4. So let's see if we can get one over here. In the industrial area. Let's take a look at our traffic. So, traffic-wise, where are some of our biggest backups? Over here. We'd like it if traffic moved a little faster over this way. Maybe we drop in one more down here in the touristy area. We drop in one somewhere up here by the zoo and another one up here somewhere, maybe near the university campus. So let's see where we can get one in down here. Put it right next to the luxury hotel and the casino. We want to keep those roads nice and safe so that we don't have to break out the bulldozer over here and repair or remodel anything. That would be very dangerous and disruptive to a high-earning establishment in the city, and we wouldn't want that, would we? Right? So, with our continued extortion of the casino to remind them to donate tax dollars to our lovely city out of the way, let's go get at least 2 more of these in. So we'll drop one right here. And then we'll drop one more in up by the university. And they'll slowly roam the streets. And, ooh, can we get it right there? That works. So those will slowly improve our roads as they go around driving about. And again, you can see red isn't bad in this case, right? It's not traffic red. It's the condition of the road. And as the trucks drive those roads support faster speeds now. So the more green roads you have, in theory, the faster the roads, or the faster the traffic on those roads can go. So if we look at coverage, coverage is a little dry out here, but we also don't have a whole lot of traffic out on that coastal highway. Everything else is in the green. These actually have really large coverage areas. Probably didn't need that many, but we've got the money and it will get them out there on the roads that much faster. So ironically, by adding more traffic to the roads, you're making those roads move faster. We'll see how that works over the next episode or two. Traffic routes. This is something that we can do in kind of an in-depth dive on at some point. But when you zoom in on roads, you can start to see where the traffic is going. And you can see the breakdown of the different colors. So you have where pedestrians are versus cyclists, private, public vehicles, trucks, city service vehicles. So you can kind of see, you know, for these intersections that are really busy, where are people coming from? Where are they going to? Right? So there's a lot of traffic getting off the highway. It looks like it's coming all the way around the rotary to then get off over here. So maybe we do, you know, a direct underpass exit over there so they don't even have to hit the rotary. It really just depends. The rotary itself is not getting too backed up, but it's not maybe moving people off the highway as fast as it could be. Let's turn on 3x speed because you start to get more of a realistic understanding of the flow of the traffic. Right now, this is too sharp of a bend. That's the other thing. When you have roads that come straight into rotaries, you have to make this 90-degree corner to come onto it. If we did kind of an off-ramp at a 45-degree angle, that would be a little bit better. But this is nice and simple. It's not backing up to the highway even, so we should be in pretty good shape there. It lagged a little bit there a moment ago. Not sure if you noticed that. Adjust roads. I don't think I've ever used this. You can move nodes around. That node right there? I'm not sure. If somebody knows in the comments, tell me about the adjust roads function. I'm going to have to research that one. Processing status for garbage. We're still in the green. We're in good shape there. Oh. Did I just say at the start of this episode that we'd probably see another fire over here? Or was that last episode? Man. Come on. I seriously have the worst luck with fires. If you tuned into the Tropico stream last week, we were having fires every couple minutes over there. But they get put out as long as you have a fire station. They're not as devastating. This is gonna be bad. So let's time lapse this. Let's see when this all goes out. And and then we'll pick up where we left off. Where were we? What were we looking at info-wise? We were looking at garbage. So we'll look at garbage in a moment and catch up on where the city's at after this raging inferno finishes running its course. So bear with me time-lapse-wise. We'll be right back. You can see the helicopters are trying to do their thing. They just only care about the trees, unfortunately, and are going to let all the buildings burn. Roller coaster, people are still riding that thing. I don't know if you see the cars zipping around, but they don't care that the rest of the park is on fire. They are still lining up for this thing because they paid their tickets. They're going to ride their ride. Pay these outrageous ticket fees and then wait in line for hours. You're not going to miss your ride just because the entire park is on fire. Obviously, it's fine. Fire crews are working. Yeah, look at that. The people just pouring in. The piggy train is on fire, kids. Please don't line up for it, okay? This may not be the best time to ride these rides. All right, let's see. The good news is we're running out of stuff that is combustible. So at some point, fire needs something to burn. It can't just burn on its own. So it's going to run out of fuel pretty soon at this rate. That's the good news. Bad news is we're going to have to rebuild our theme park for like the 4th time. Maybe I'll go a little easier on the trees and spread some stuff out. Might be a good idea. I don't know. All right, so I think it's mostly contained at this point. The rides are collapsing as people are walking into them. That's not good. These people might want to turn around and exit the park at this point. I don't know. Just saying. Stop at the restroom on the way out. Okay. That works. The unfortunately, the roller coaster finally went up in flames. What do we need to do to rebuild these? Do we have to demo them? Building needs to be searched for survivors by disaster response unit before it can be rebuilt. Okay, well, since the largest spot that we have for disasters is right over here. Disaster response unit. Can we fit you in here? We can't? That is a big boy, huh? It won't let me build it over the fences that are there. Where are we gonna slap this thing? I guess right here in the corner. Right? That will be filled out enough. What happens if the disaster response unit catches on fire from the horrible fires that happen in the park? I wonder. Okay, well, this isn't finished burning, but for the purposes of today's episode, it is. So let's go back to where we were. We don't need shelters. We're not playing with natural disasters on. The biggest natural disaster we have to deal with is the fact that the devs didn't code in a way to put out fires in park buildings. I really hope that they're working on that. Because again, you'll get... Helicopters will put out the trees. I'm a little worried they're throwing water at my new disaster response building. Did they see smoke coming out of there? Where does this fence cut off? Technically the disaster response unit is part of the park now, which is probably not a bad idea. But they are searching these buildings for survivors. And then I think we have an option to rebuild them at that point. So we can repair, rather than have to redesign our entire park. So I think once that icon comes up, we're able to interact with it in a way where we can rebuild it. We can. Okay, so that works pretty nice. Just restore them as they're finished searching those buildings for survivors. I won't rebuild over here yet because I don't want it to just burst back into flames. So we'll come back to that. Look at our lovely park. An absolute mess. So back into our info views, we'll look at a couple things before we call it quits for the day. Garbage coverage. That's what we were talking about when the theme park had burst into flames. We've got good green coverage everywhere for the most part. I don't see anywhere that is in the gray. We have these buildings turned off, it looks like. Are they off? Not operating, but not turned off. Why is this not operating? Do we have a one-way street or something? This is a one-way street, isn't it? Oh my god. So, let's fix that. Roads, regular two-way roads. I should have noticed the crosswalk there. And now these buildings can operate. So, now let's go back in. The processing status should go up even further into the green. And everybody's pretty well covered at that point. We've got the ultimate recycling center over here. We've got these two covering this part of the screen. What is this? We got 2 recycling plants right there. I didn't realize we had that. Got one over by Zootopia, 1 up, or 2 up by the prison, and then a handful over here. It looks like the flames are done, so let's just start slowly rebuilding our park. People are still wandering around. Hand ticket prices to get in. I'm fine with it. It's not the best time to be visiting the park, but Chirpies and the other mascots are here to welcome you to all the fun. Come on in. Enjoy the show. Let's actually see what this looks like now. Not as inviting. Kind of looks like a horror park. All the dead trees everywhere. I'm hoping that there's enough tree coverage to kind of mask the massive disaster response unit building over there. But we'll have to wait and get a feel for it once it all finally grows back in. I think the paths are fine. I don't think you have to rebuild those. The restroom somehow survived. I guess it's all the water in there. Didn't quite burn up. As soon as we're done searching that one, I think that will be the park rebuilt. Right? Did the... Holy cow, man. The roller coaster survived again. Right? I didn't rebuild that. Okay, theme park has been rebuilt. And somehow the gate and the roller coaster survived. We definitely don't have enough souvenir shops in this park. I think we need 2 more right here by the entrance. Then we can call it a day. But we need to get as much money as possible out of our visitors. We get one on the outside edge here. And if we try and cram one in on the inside edge, unfortunately it's going to break the road. But this way we can shop the second you come in. But the parents who know better know to hit this on the way out, because there's a chance your kid could be exhausted and asleep in a stroller, and then you won't have to buy all the stuffed animals. But if they're awake from all the sugar and cotton candy and caffeine that they've had at the park, then unfortunately they're going to be wired and want a bunch of toys. So sorry, we had to take advantage of you on the way out of the park, but this is how capitalism works. So we will look at the last couple things. We'll start kind of here, garbage and pollution down, just to kind of quickly look at where our city's at in the next episode. But there will be another episode Friday, and then I'm planning a bit of a cinematic tour of the city as we put Springdale on a brief hiatus and go on to some other projects. So there'll be new Let's Plays, there'll be new how-tos coming, but tune back in Friday for the next Let's Play, Monday for the sort of season finale, and let me know your ideas in the comments, what you want to see. There have been some suggestions for kind of a mountain town, maybe a snowfall map. Maybe we can do kind of both of those in one mountainy, snowy town. There's also requests for an island build. So there's a lot of different things that we could do in the next series. But no streams this week, so no stream tomorrow night or Saturday night, unfortunately. But we will get back to the streaming schedule next week with streams next week on Thursday and Saturday. And then we're halfway through the Game of Thrones season, honestly, at that point. Like, it's only a couple weeks after that. We'll be able to get back to the Sunday streams. We'll kind of try and figure out more of a schedule, but there's some things happening in May. So take a peek at the schedule for the rest of April here on the screen. And then, again, we'll get more into a regular flow and start up with a new Let's Play series. See what we can do, see what we can build. But don't worry, we will be saving Springdale. We'll be revisiting it. We'll be going back to Santa Rico and Springwood and Rockdale, and all those cities we'll be going back to visit and kind of maybe drop some parks into, make some revisions and repairs, and take what we've learned from the previous series and see if we can go fix some of that. So I think that would be fun to revisit some of those as well. But if you did enjoy this video, As always, likes, comments, shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated as always. If you're new here, subscribe for more, hit the bell to get notifications, and until the next Let's Play on Friday, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.